Hotels are getting futuristic. A lot of hotels, when I stay at, now when you take a shower, they have half a glass. So it's open, so the water gets on the floor. Because that's the future. They want water on the floor. And I'm old and dumb. We really try to keep the water inside the tub. It was a pretty big deal. But now, they want the floors wet. That's what they want. They want to do no glass, but I'm still alive, so they're like, all right, do half a glass. Once that guy's gone, we'll do no glass. Floors are wet, drains off the balcony. Vanderbilt went to their first bowl game in football in like 20 years, in 2008. And so we all go to it. We're very excited. It's at Tennessee Titans Stadium. So me and a bunch of buddies get together. We go tailgate. We get cornhole, a grill. Like we're going all out. And my ticket was at will call. So I was like, look, I got to get my ticket. I'll be right back. So I go get my ticket. And before the lady gives it to me, she ripped it, which means you have to go in. And it was, a full 3 hours before the game starts. I was like, I don't want to go in yet, And she's like, you have to go. And I just walked in to just an empty stadium, 60,000 empty seats. I go to my seat. I don't even just go to I went to like the one I'm supposed to go to, like a loser. The players are like in jeans. They're not even dressed yet. I was like, I'm real excited for the game. I like started them. They're like, oh, I didn't even know anybody was in here. Did you go to Vandy? I was like, you would think with how early I'm here. But I also think if I went to Vandy, I wouldn't be in the situation that I'm in. I walked to the top of the stadium and just watched my friends tailgate. I just sat up at the very top. And I was like, I'm already in, guys. Yeah, I decided to save our numbered seats. Nothing was open. I stood in front of a concession stand like I was waiting for an iPhone to come out. Just that gate was down. I'm just like already trying to figure out what I'm going to eat. And they came and opened it, and one side got stuck, and I helped them. I go, I'll get that. So I helped them open it. They're like, oh, do you work here? I was like, I've been here a little bit longer than you have. So I'm not smart at all. I'm smart enough to like answer my 6-year-old's questions. She's like, why is the sun hot? I'm like, 'cause it's on fire. It's a stupid question. And I tell her that, all right, because I know that she'll be smarter than me next year and then just for the rest of her life. So I am really sticking it to her while I can. I know nothing about like adult stuff that you're supposed to know about. Global warming, that's one that everybody yells at you about. And they're like, you better do something. I'm like, I'm so tired of it. Let's do it. I barely made it out of high school. I don't really know how rain works. So why don't you let me figure that out, and then I'll do global warming, But I've seen it rain without clouds. Where's that water coming from? So I'm pretty swamped with this rain stuff right now, but once I get to the bottom of that, I'm going to do global warming, and I've got some pretty good ideas, We took a trip to Florida, to Fort Lauderdale, and her and our daughter are flying from Nashville, where we live, and I'm flying from Detroit. We're meeting at Fort Lauderdale's airport. I have to find them when they land. So I called her because I was about to take off, and I was like, all right, what time do you guys leave? She goes, noon. And it was 11:30, and they're still at home. I was like, Laura, I don't know if you even know what an airport is. But if that plane was in our driveway, I don't think you could make it. And she said, that's what time we leave for the airport. Our flight's not till 1:30. And I was like, all right. So what do you think I wanted to know when I asked that? Is that what you thought the best time you could give me was a time that means nothing to nobody? What time did you go to bed last night? Just tell me that, and I'll just look up all the planes that land in Florida, and I'll guess which one I think you're on. She said, I'm sorry I don't talk the way you want me to talk. I'm like, I want you to talk like a regular person, all right? Like you've been around people before, We didn't talk in Florida, I'll tell you that. Our daughter is in 3rd grade, and for first grade, she started taking the bus. And it was the first time she ever took the bus. So if you know as a parent, you walk them to the bus stop. It's very fun. And so we got her on the bus. She went to school. At the end of the school day, someone from the school called my cell phone. They have my wife's cell phone. They have my cell phone. They called my cell phone, and she said, hey, do you know what bus number your daughter's supposed to be on? And I said, I'm her dad. As in, are you crazy? Like, I was like, this is how you thought you would get this information, was to call the dad? You saw a mom and dad's cell phone. You go, I bet the dad knows. I was like, do you have parents? Have you ever seen a family before? You thought, let's call the husband? Unless there's two husbands, you should never call a husband a day in your life. I would rather you ask a lady that doesn't know her. I think she could get to the bottom of it quicker than I can.
All right, one of the really cool things about Big Slick, as you all know, is that we get to invite people that we know in the industry. And this next guy, I became a fan of because my girlfriend was a fan of his comedy on Jimmy Fallon. And she made me go here in Kansas City to watch stand-up, and I went and saw him and just was blown away. Then I watched his special, and then I watched everything I possibly could, and I reached out to him and said, dude, you are so hilarious. How would you like to come to an amazing charity event in Kansas City? And without hesitation, he said yes. And during the show this night at the Sprint Center, I kept going back to him and saying, you sure you're going to do okay? You sure you're going to be, you sure your jokes are good? You sure just messing with him. He proceeded to get up and tear the Sprint Center down. I've never seen a crowd rush to give a standing ovation like I did that night. Ladies and gentlemen, may I introduce you to my friend, Nate. How do you say his last name again? Nate Bargatze. Enjoy.
This next comedian we're bringing to the stage is one of the hottest comedians there is right now.
He's
got an amazing Netflix special on right now called The Tennessee Kid. His name is Nate Bargatze. He's here to perform for you right now. Give him a big Kansas City welcome.
Yes. Nate! We got him.
All right. Thank you. I'm gonna put this energy pretty late in the show. This is what my energy is. Dustin? Look, thank you for having me here. This is very exciting. Got to play some sports softball. Struck out, but it's just a pretty big yellow ball. And I like to play, I play a lot of sports. I like to golf. And recently I was golfing, and I got done, and I was very hot and gross. So I wanted to change my shirt before I drove. So I'm standing in the trunk of my car in the parking lot. I take my shirt off, and this old man walks up, and he goes, Olivia? He was looking for his elderly wife and saw me with no shirt on. I covered up. I was like, what's that? And he was like, all right, honest mistake. And I was like, that hurts worse than saying Olivia. I don't know who he offended more, me or Olivia. I think we could both have a word with him. I'd love to meet her, though. I tell you, I'd love to see her and be like, all right, I get it. It was an honest mistake. I don't have a good body. That's the message. It's not. You ever wear those Under Armour shirts, those skin tight ones? Like I look better without a shirt on than with that shirt on. It just shows the worst parts of your body. They have like plastic surgery, how they draw markers on you. They should just put you in that shirt and be like, obviously you can see what we're gonna go after. We did play softball. I did do some sports growing up. I played baseball, and when I was 13, I was playing baseball. One time I was up to bat, and I got walked. So I take my base, I get to first base, and I turned around, and the catcher was still standing there, and he was holding the ball. He's like staring at me, like he was daring me to run. And I was like, all right, dude, I'm gonna go. So I ran, he threw it over through second base, ball goes in the outfield. I run to third base, the outfield grabs the ball, they overthrow third base. My third base coach is telling me to go home. This is about to be an inside the park home run off a walk. I won't be on SportsCenter. This is the biggest play that's ever happened in baseball. I slide, there's a play at the plate, and the umpire then tells us that it was only ball 3. This is exactly true. So, I've got to get up. Everybody's got to get up. I got to get my bat right where I left it. I got a bat again. It's 3 balls, 2 strikes. Next pitch, immediately strike out. I'm exhausted and just over baseball. Here's what I learned though that day. Here's what I learned. I learned that if you're confident, you can get away with quite a bit. Because no one tried to stop me, and they should have. They knew I wasn't supposed to go. That's why the catcher was holding the ball, because he was like, I don't think he's supposed to be going yet. And then I just run to second. He's like, guess I'm wrong. No one's that dumb. And then he launches it into the outfield, who's barely paying attention. The umpire figures it out, but it's just easier to let me get back to him. No one ever told the parents either. No one ever explained it to them. And they were cheering pretty hard. It's a pretty exciting play to watch. And they just see me slide into home and just stand up and bat again. Like that's just a rule in baseball. And you know what? What's funny too? The year before, I got a legit triple off a walk. So in that moment, I'm like, this is just what I do. You know, like I was like, don't walk me. Like this is my thing. All right. I'm a pretty dumb guy. That's the general. I went to a community college for 1 year, have 0 credits, 0. My loan was like $40. I paid cash. All my classes were outside. We never went inside the building. We would meet at a picnic table outside because our teacher was like, you guys will all be working outside one day. So. I've like thought about like if I could time travel, if I could go back in time knowing everything I know now, I don't think you would even hear about it. I think I would just get stuck. I don't know anything. Like I don't think I could. I think if I went back, I don't think I could prove I'm from the future. Like who's the next president? I'm like just name someone and I'll tell you if I've heard of them or not. But I have no idea. I am married as well. It's fine, you know, you just do it. This is what marriage is. It's just one guy talking and the other's like, I'm gonna get out of here. This is not. My wife, one time we were out on the lake with some of our friends and we were floating around in the water and there was a guy in a boat right next to us, and my wife was like, oh, that's my ex-boyfriend in that boat. I didn't know who he was. She didn't have to say anything at all. She was just basically like, are you having fun? Because I would like to put a stop to that, and make you stare at this guy. So I was staring at him, and then I looked at her, and she was staring at him, and I felt like she was staring at him to see what her life would be like if she didn't marry me. So I started staring at him to see what my life would be like if I didn't marry her. I mean, we were putting so much pressure on this guy, and nothing happened. We basically just realized we don't have a boat, but My friends were like, you shouldn't try to fight him. Why didn't you go fight him? I was like, I don't know, because I would have had to swim over to that fight. I don't know how intimidating that is for a guy to see a head in a life jacket floating his way. And then I got to get in the boat. Have you ever tried to climb into a boat from water? It's not aggressive. It takes an hour if no one is in the boat. I would need his help. That's how that fight would start. Oh, thank you. Is this, all right. We fight a lot, my wife and I. If we get in a fight, she'll give me the silent treatment. And the silent treatment is very common. Everybody knows what it is. And I think you're just born knowing it. I don't think you're taught it. You know, it's just like something that's inside of you. Here's what made me realize that. I was rewatching the movie Sixth Sense. And look, I'm not trying to do a 6-inch joke. This is a 20-year-old movie. I mean, look how old he is now, Haley Joel Osment. It's that many years ago. That's the baby. It's 20 years old. I also have to spoil it for you, but again, it's 20 years old. So if you haven't seen it by now, then I don't know what to tell you. But think about when you saw this movie for the first time. None of us knew he was dead, too, by the way, just so you know. And if you haven't seen it, like, that's a pretty big part of it. But for those that have, think about it. When you saw this movie for the first time, none of us knew he was dead. That was the biggest surprise we've ever seen in a movie. We just thought his wife wasn't talking to him for like a year. That made more sense to us than him possibly being dead. And they don't hide him dying. A guy shoots him with a gun to start the movie. And we watched it for 2 hours, just like, this is what a movie about marriage. This is what marriage is like. Even if you get shot, it's your fault. We have a daughter as well, and when my daughter was to be born, I'm from Nashville, and when she was to be born, we were living in New York, but she was not born in New York. We flew home. She was born in Tennessee. I don't need her growing up thinking she's better than me. So I was like, you start where we start, all right? No one gets a leg up in this family. I love having a kid. Kids have very weird energy. Like their energy is like they want to fight you. They stare at you. They stare at just strangers for so long. And you try to stare back like, I will fight you in front of everybody. And they just look through you. Like, please, I would love it if you tried. I'm a big chain guy. I go to a lot of chain things. I just like to go to businesses that are doing good everywhere. I'm a big McDonald's fan. I go there quite a bit. And I take my friends, and every time I go in there, they're like, I haven't been here in forever. It's like, don't act like I'm the one keeping them afloat, all right? They're doing real good. So I went in with a buddy of mine, another comedian named Louis J. Gomez. And me and Louis, we go in, we ordered our food at McDonald's, and we sit down at our table. And then Louis went to the bathroom. He left me alone with his food. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to play a prank on him. So I grabbed his hamburger, I unwrapped it, I took a bite out of it, and I wrapped it back up and put it back on his tray. That's my big prank, right? Like when he comes back from the bathroom, I'll be like, dude, did they just eat your burger? That's crazy that they're doing that, right? Is that crazy? It's a dumb prank. It's harmless. It should never leave the table. All that should happen is Louis should come back, he should open his burger, and his first reaction should be to look at his best friend who's sitting with him, who also, by the way, dabbles in comedy, and just be like, hey, I just want to run this by you before I unexpectedly go freak out on this entire McDonald's. That's what I thought would go down. Just a little, hey, did you touch my food the only time it's out of my sight? I just want to know before I try to fight a group of people that are going to be pretty confused on why they're fighting. But instead, I got to learn I'm friends with a lunatic and a guy comfortable fighting McDonald's employees because he opened his burger and could not have ignored me quicker. He looked at them so fast, almost like he expected them to do it, like it's happened before. And he's like, again with this. I will fight all of you till I find out who ate my burger. And he gets up, he starts walking towards them. I can't believe it's working. We have gotten so much farther than I'm prepared to get. So I just grab him. I go, dude, I ate it. Like, why would you not look at me once to see if I did this? And I get him to sit down, and it's weird. Like, everybody's looking at us. It takes 10 minutes for people to quit filming us with their phones. And it hits me. I'll just sit there. I was like, you're gonna get killed one day, man. I was like, let's pretend I'm not here. Let's pretend that someone did eat your burger that worked at this McDonald's. You're just gonna go blindly fight him. Not even try to size him up, see what he looks like. Do you really think you could beat up a guy that is apparently pretty confident in himself, that he's making burgers, he's then eating them, and then he's wrapping them up and just sending them out to whoever? You don't think that guy's probably the greatest fighter of all time? I think you're gonna walk to the McDonald's counter and be like, who ate my burger? And all the McDonald's employees are gonna part ways. They know exactly who you're talking about. And in the very back, you see a guy cracking his neck. He's got his fist in the fryer. Doesn't even know it. Just warming his hands up. All right, that's it for me. Thank you guys for letting me come out, honestly. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Unbelievable. Neighbor Bargatze, everybody. Neighbor Bargatze.
And everything's wet. So, everything's wet. Oh, hold on. Wait. Really trying. I know, it's all right. I know, y'all should apologize for y'all's fly. Those Houston flies, you know how they are. Always want the spotlight. And I thought flies don't live long, and they live so long. Thank you. Trying to dodge it. God, I almost got it. If someone walked in right now, it looks like this is what the show is. Like it's just, this is how far, like we have Wi-Fi's down. We're now just paying to watch a man try to slap a fly. And you're like, a lot of people show up. It's pretty fun, you know, like it goes. We're at a Holiday Inn Express. So the breakfast buffet there is where they have the cereal where you turn the knob and like 4 pieces fall out. It's like how you feed a cat for a long weekend, you know? That's enough. They had batter and syrup. And so you pour they had the waffle iron where you make it yourself. So you pour the batter on the waffle iron, you shut it, you turn it over, it locks, it cooks for 2 minutes, you turn it over, you open it, half the waffle comes off, half stays forever. That's how you eat a waffle. So I'm with my buddy of mine that's my age. So we go through, he's in front of me, not really talking or anything, just going through. He gets to it. It's batter and syrup. They're in clear containers. They're not labeled, but they're in clear containers. He gets the syrup and starts pouring it on the waffle iron. And I'm not even stopping him because he's not doing it where he's going, I've never done that. He's doing it where we're probably going to try it after. I mean, he's just like, you're like, dude, I can't wait to see what this guy's making. Like, he might know something that I don't know. He shuts it, turns it over, it cooks. He's like looking at us. We're like, I mean, the whole line's like, yeah, what is that going to be? And it makes black smoke is what it makes. Just, I mean, dark black smoke. Just starts filling the lobby. The manager comes over. He's like, what are you doing? He's like, I guess I poured the wrong one. These are not labeled. And the guy's like, they're in clear containers. Do you not know the difference of batter and syrup? And he's like, I bet it happens all the time. He goes, I've worked here my whole life and I've never seen this. So they threw the waffle iron. They just throw it away. That's what they have to do. Just throw it away. It's over. And now there's no waffle. I mean, we went from all about to get a waffle to it's upside down in a trash can. And then he just turns and looks, and it's just a line of people with that little foam plate. And just everybody's sad. I just hear someone in the back go like, I set my alarm for this. I mean, 2 guys didn't have shoes on. They go, I ran down with no shoes in that elevator. I thought I was going to miss it. Once I was checking a bag, and the guy behind the counter, he sees my ticket says Nathan, the license says Nathaniel, and he was like, this is not good. He goes, these names don't match. And I was like, but they match, right? Like, you can see the leap that we took to get from one to the other. And he was like, but they're not the same. I was like, but they're the same. And I'm realizing he cannot find out people call me Nate at that point. I mean, he can't handle that. He's gonna call the police over to be like, there's a guy with 3 names trying to fly right here. If you guys wanna just shoot him from over there or something. So I was like, what do you want me to do? And he goes, you should go home. That's all I honestly said. I said, look, I'll give you that those names don't match. But what I think is gonna help a ton is the picture on the ID. Something that I've always loved that they did. And I think with 70% of that name matching and 100% face, it's 170%. I think I'll get through it. I've been doing these drive-in shows, these drive-in movie theater shows, and my buddy Nick Novicki's been with me, and Nick's a little person, very fun. We started a comedy together. Nick's very fun to be friends with. He very easy to trick. We were once at a coffee shop, and a guy was sitting near us with a big husky dog, and Nick just goes, "Hey, you think that's a wolf?" And I just said, "Yeah, I do think it's a wolf." They just passed a law that if you can catch a wolf, you can have it as a pet. And he goes, should I go ask him about it? I was like, I mean, absolutely. You know, I mean, he wants to talk about it. That's why he brought that wolf out here. And I watched him walk over to him and just go, excuse me, is that a wolf? And the guy, I mean, he didn't really know how to answer it. He said, what? I mean, you think I brought a wild wolf to this coffee shop? And the wolf's just being cool about it? It's not losing its mind right now? When we were doing these driving shows, we were all on a bus together. I convinced Nick that I didn't know who Nancy Kerrigan and Tanya Harding were. Nick is learning this, that I do know who they are. He's learning right now with you. I never told him. I absolutely know who they are. He brought all his references are just 90s sports references. He only can reference the 90s. And so he brings up Nancy Kerrigan and Tanya Harding, and I was like, who's that? He's like, what? You don't know who they are? And I was like, I don't think anybody knows who they are. And he goes, dude, this is like a huge story. It's like figure skating is like a mafia hit. I was like, I've never heard this, dude. Don't you think I would have heard it? I mean, I was like, no one knows this. He's like, he's losing his mind. I go, they should make a 30 for 30 if it's that good. He goes, they did. Another guy's like, they should make a movie about it. He goes, there's a movie! And he's just losing it. One of my favorite ones was, this was forever ago. We're going to a friend's house, and it was a 4-flight walk up. And so we had to walk 4 flights. Obviously, I walk faster than Nick, and I used to wait for him, but we've just been friends too long. I can't. We're like an old married couple. I'm just gone. So I knew where we were going, and I knew that he did not. So I leave him, and I go into my buddy's apartment. I was like, Nick doesn't know where you live. So that's fun, you know, just see what happens. About 30 minutes go by. Nick finally comes into the apartment, and I asked him, I was like, where were you? He goes, I didn't know where to go. And I go, I know. So, like, I mean, you've been gone for a long time. You know, did you go back outside? He goes, oh, no, I've been in someone else's apartment all this time. He went into he was just trying handles. And the door opened, he walked in, said, I'm with Nate, and went and sat on their couch. That's how far he made it. Think about where your couch is. That's how deep he made it into their place. And he's so confident, I mean, they had to be like, I don't know, maybe we know a Nate, you know? When you've been in a fight, and you're like, all right, how long is this fight? Is it happening still? Is it over? I don't know. I got to fill it out, you know? She never uses words like sorry. I'd love to hear that. I mean, that's a word she definitely doesn't know what it means. And I say it all the time. I walk around the house with just a sack of sorries, just handing them out all day. I try to give her some, like, would you like to carry some of these? She's like, I don't have pockets, so I'm good. We didn't talk that whole night. I mean, we're just sitting there, our daughters, like, we're watching TV, eating, and I'm like, hey, you know your mom's crazy, right? And she's like, did you do your homework, or you don't want to be dumb like your dad? And then your daughter's just like, are y'all lunatics? I don't read any books. I don't do it. And I think that matters. I do think that matters. Reading, I believe, is the key to smart. That's what I've always said. And I don't do it because every book is just the most words. It doesn't let up. I mean, every page is more words. It's like, what are you talking about there? Put some blank pages in there. Let me get my head above water for 2 seconds. I don't know anything about history. And I can tell because every history movie I watch on the edge of my seat. What is gonna happen? I watched Pearl Harbor. I was as surprised as they were, you know? I don't read. Yeah, and I think that matters. Reading is the key to smart, I believe. And I don't do it. I think it's caught up to me. I want to do it. I like the idea of reading. I even buy books. But these books are the most words. And it's every book. You just open it and you're like, what are you talking about? And they don't let up. Every page, just more words. How about you put some blank pages in there? Why don't you let me get my head above water for 2 seconds? I can be wasteful. Like, if something gets to the bottom, I will throw it away. Ketchup. If ketchup gets like that much left, I'm like, blah. She will put the old ketchup with the new ketchup. That way your ketchup's always gross. Toothpaste. I will use it to what I think the average person uses it to. I don't think I should feel muscles trying to get it out. I'm not gonna have an iron on top of it. But she'll do it more. So I know when I'm done with it, I give it to the hobo I married. She cuts it, gets it all out. I married an old man from the Depression is who I married. She would have thrived during the Depression. I don't think she would have known there was a Depression. I went to career day for my daughter's school, and I get what I do is very fun. But I was nervous because I'm there with real people, and they're smart. And so I was hoping to sit at a table alone. They put me at a table with a surgeon, which I think they did it on purpose, almost to show the kids, here's the difference between reading. So the kids come up, and they're like, what subjects do you use for comedy? And I was like, I don't even know what the subjects they're taking. I was like, I do English. I do mostly English on stage. They asked him, how long do you go to school to be a surgeon? And he's like 54 years or whatever. It's like and they asked me, they're like, how long to be a comedian? I was like, you're good now. So, look, finish elementary school, make your parents happy, but then I'd get out and get after it. I do zero working out. Not even, it's not like you're like, whoa, wow. Like, it's like, yeah, we figured that. Every hotel I go to, I ask if they have a gym. I don't even have clothes that I could work out in. There's no way. I'm like, is it 24 hours? I was going to start tonight at midnight. So I was wondering if that's... What I've learned, what's easier than working out is just tell people that you used to weigh 300 pounds. That's a lot. They don't know, So I've never weighed 300 pounds, but I look pretty amazing for a guy that used to weigh 300 pounds. You're like, yeah, I got tired of being tired, all right, Today's my cheat day, obviously, but normally I'm pretty strict. All right, so we got in the fight over the phrase one fell swoop. Just over this saying. And if you're a newlywed, you're like, well, that doesn't make sense. You're right, it doesn't. This is a double-digit married fight. This is when you've already done all the dish fighting or the putting your clothes away fighting. This is when they're trying to mentally break you. They got you almost how they want you, and this is the one that sends it over the edge. So my wife, she wanted to go visit her parents one weekend, and her parents are divorced, and which has been hardest on me, to be honest. That's something people don't talk about, you know? When you marry into divorce, I mean, they divorced because of her, not me, so why do I have to go to 50 different houses? So, she wanted to go visit her parents, and shit, I want to do it in one fell swoop. Now, I've never heard my wife say the phrase one fell swoop. We've been together 20 years, she's never said it. And it felt like someone that day told her, hey, you should start using one fell swoop more. And she goes, I'm about to call my husband, and goes, perfect, use it 40 to 50 times on him. So she calls me and she goes, I want to go visit my parents and I want to do it in one fell swoop. And I go, all right, let's do it in one fell swoop. She goes, I want to do it in one fell swoop. I go, let's do it in one fell swoop, you know? Let's swoop it up, I'm down. And she kept saying it, one fell swoop, one fell swoop. I mean, over and over again. And then when she went to describe this one fell swoop trip, she goes, we'll go to my mom's, come home, then go to my dad's. And so I just like waited, and she didn't say anything, and I just go, that's not what one fell swoop means. And instead of possibly just being wrong, she goes, I know what one fell swoop means. I go, yeah, it doesn't sound like you do, all right? And we have the same last name. I can't have you out there in a one fell swoop conversation. What do you think two birds, one stone mean? Let's just go through them all. I don't know if you know any of these. She hangs up on me. So I get home, and you know when you walk home and you've been in a fight, and you're like, all right, how long is this fight? Is it happening still? Is it over? I don't know. I got to fill it out, you know? She never uses words like sorry. I'd love to hear that. And that's a word she definitely doesn't know what it means. And I say it all the time. I walk around the house with just a sack of sorries, just handing them out all day. I try to give her some, like, would you like to carry some of these? She's like, I don't have pockets, so I'm good. We didn't talk that whole night. I mean, we're just sitting there, our daughters, like, we're watching TV, eating, and I'm like, hey, you know your mom's crazy, right? And then she's like, did you do your homework, or you don't want to be dumb like your dad? And then your daughter's just like, are y'all lunatics? So I'm laying on the couch, and my wife just came over, and she kisses me goodnight, and then she went to bed. And that was it, you know? That was like, I felt like it was her sorry, I guess. But she didn't say it. And so I was like laid there, and I'm just thinking about it. And you think about it a lot because you're like, all right. Because you learn the longer you get married, sometimes it's like, just let stuff go. You know, who cares? And the next morning I get up, and I kind of still wanted to talk about it. Because we didn't talk all night, you know? So I went into her, I was like, look, I got to tell you, I mean, it's just not what it means, you know? And that got it going real good. But I felt so good about this argument, you know? I thought about it all night. I was like, you got this one in the bag, man. You should bring it back up. I'm not trying to date her anymore. I like to win a fight. We're going to die together. I almost woke her up in her sleep. That's how much I was so excited. I almost just started shaking her going, it's not what it means. Our marriage almost ended in one fell swoop. So, it's supposed to be a clean show. I'm bringing this filth into it. I don't say the word sucks. Like, this sucks. I don't, because that was a very bad word in the 80s. And look, I'm sorry to say it now. My dad took us to see the first Karate Kid at the movie theater, and they said sucks in it. And right when I heard it, I looked at my dad and I go, what kind of trash you bringing us to? I was not allowed to watch anything. I mean, when they made The Simpsons, it was like, I guess they're just showing R-rated TV shows now. She does whatever she wants. She turned 18 and got a tattoo. And I was like, well, you're going to get in pretty big trouble when they find that out. And she goes, I'm 18, I can do whatever I want. I go, yeah, well, I'm 28 and I'm still hiding wine, so I don't think you can. Pardon my language, but I think it stinks what's going on. I think it stinks. I'm married, I'm still married, and yeah. I like to say it, you know, like I'm at the same job, just like, yeah, no, still work there. Yeah, right out of high school. Only job I applied for. My wife will tell me that she always says that I don't like the way she talks, and it's not her voice. I like the sound of her voice. That'd be a big problem, I think, if it was like, it's your voice. I just hate it. Just to go to couples therapy and be like, can you hear it right? Like, it's not, you know, it's not fun. My wife will tell me that She always says that I don't like the way she talks. And it's not her voice. That'd be a big problem, I think, if it was like, it's your voice. I just hate it. I called her because I was about to take off, and I was like, all right, what time do you guys leave? It was 11:30, and they're still at home. I was like, Laura, I don't know if you even know what an airport is. But if that plane was in our driveway, I don't think you could make it. So, what do you think I wanted to know when I asked that? Is that what you thought the best time you could give me was a time that means nothing to nobody? My daughter still sleeps in our bed, too. And parents don't like that when you say it. They're like, you got to keep them outside, don't look at them. It's my fault. So we had a kid late in life. We have one kid. And so we're kind of hitting all the sites. And I would be, when I get home, travel a bunch, and I get home, I'd want us to all sleep in the bed together. And I've kind of built up a habit now, and it's happening. So it's tough, though, because kids don't know how to sleep. I mean, she makes king bed feel like a twin. I mean, I'm on the edge. When I sleep alone in a hotel, I have to sleep with my head on the nightstand. It's the only way I know how to go to bed. She gets sideways, upside down. If you woke up upside down tomorrow, you would go to the hospital. She's also apparently going through menopause because she's the hottest human being that's ever lived. I mean, I'm freezing at night. She just kicks all the covers off, and you're like, yeah, no, you go ahead. It's your bed. We're lucky to be in it. She's got to get out at some point, you know? I don't know. She'll be 37 years old. Hey, can I get in the bed with you guys? Her kids are upstairs asleep in their bed. Her husband left a while ago. He ain't gonna put up with that. The best wedding I've ever been to was my cousin's wedding. It was a real redneck affair. It was right outside Louisville, Kentucky, where my parents are from. And my cousin's name is Tuesday, which is a good start. The invitation said, Tuesday's getting married, rehearsals Friday, wedding Saturday. People were like, we gotta be there Monday for this wedding? How long is this wedding? It's a week? We get there, I'm wearing a button-down shirt, khaki pants, nothing crazy. I'm wildly overdressed. I look like I work there. Everybody else just has a football or basketball jersey on. My uncle, his daughters get married. He has his tuxedo jacket, pants, cummerbund, bow tie, no shirt. They forgot his shirt, and instead of waiting to go get it, he was like, let's do it without it, right? Like, that's... And he doesn't have a body that's like, that's cool, man. You know, he has a body that you're like, put your jacket on backwards, flip it around. Yeah. And then you see his back, and you're like, whew, all right, go back the regular way. Yeah, that's my fault. How's your back worse than your front? We go into the church. It's bride and groom. Looks like it's home and away. That's how many jerseys are in there. Guys are drinking beers in the church. Like, that's something I've never heard a pastor be like, guys, could we not drink alcohol in the church? And they're like, oh, didn't know this was the nice part of town. All right. The reception is next door, just at a lady's house, like in her backyard. Like, she doesn't do, it isn't like she's like, and I do receptions all the time. We were her one and only reception. So we walk over. They took a horse and buggy. The horse was the oldest horse I've ever seen. I thought it was a donkey. I thought they got a deal on a donkey. And the guy was like, this horse was in the Kentucky Derby. Like, the first one that they did? Is that Secretariat's father? How old is this horse, man? You know they lay down, right? So we walked. It took them 45 minutes. They went up a driveway and back down the next driveway. They're sweating, almost divorced by the time they get there. The reception, like I said, it's in her backyard. They put plywood on the grass, like side by side, to make a dance floor. We danced just to a radio station on a boombox. Just like 104.5. You would have to stop for weather and traffic updates. There was a punch bowl that was low to the ground, like on a low table. And so I was giving it to kids. I was trying to help out. And then someone was like, that's wine. And I gave it to so many kids. I don't know anything about wine, but I don't think they tell you to pour it into a bowl. Like, that's not... No one's ever like, let's get out of that box, get in a bowl. You know, let's let it breathe a little bit. I got a couple 9-year-olds pretty loose that night. We've been traveling around like crazy, doing all these driving dates that have been super fun. I like traveling. I love being on the road. I remember one time I was in Los Angeles, and I was going to South by Southwest in Austin, Texas the next day, and I had a really early flight. So I remember the night before, I was like, just be normal and, have a normal night. And ended up hanging out, become a bit of a problem. And I wake up the next day, and my flight is gone. I mean, I've missed it. And it's not like it's at the gate. It is in Austin, Texas. They are checking into their hotel. So I go to get my phone to get another flight, and I've lost my phone. The night before, I've lost it. So now I don't have my phone. So I have to go buy a ticket over the counter like it's the 50s. And when you walk up to a counter, they don't expect you to be buying a ticket like that. I got up there, and they were like, all right. And I was like, I would like one ticket to Austin, Texas, please. And they said, all right, go buy it, and don't be weird about it. I go, nope, I'd like to write a check to you for one ticket to Austin, Texas. And they didn't have a flight, so I have to do that at every terminal. I just have to keep going. One ticket to Austin, Texas, please. I finally found a flight, but the girl behind the counter, she's never sold a ticket like that. She's like, I've worked here for 10 years and no one's ever done this. And she goes, I don't know how to do it. And she went back and got, probably the oldest lady I've ever seen. I think she's there for just this reason. And she came out, she had like that old credit card machine that you run, and she's like, I got it. This is super fun for me. It was weird to not have my phone. Everybody has their phone. I was going through the airport, and you just don't have it, and you just stare. We were waiting in line, and you're just like looking ahead, and people are just like, all right, dude, what is wrong with you? Just regular people, like, where's your phone? I'm like, I don't have it. I would like to talk to you, though, if you would talk to me. I'd love to chat for a little bit. I thought I was going to breeze through security, but I got held up just because the guy in front of me. And he goes through the metal detector, and it goes off. And so they asked him, they're like, do you have anything metal on you? And he goes, I have keys on me, my keys. And we thought he was going to say, like, his knee or hip, just old people have metal in them a lot. And he goes, keys? Do you think that would do it? You're like, I think that would be the number one answer on Family Feud of what would set a metal detector off. Keys? I told him, I was like, look, let's try it with and without it. I'd love to know. Maybe they've been lying to us about this key thing. I say oil, super southern one, oil. I don't even know how to say it, like how to y'all. Oil, O-I-L. Yeah. I go motor oil, like tin full. Southern Community College, that should be mandatory. Did they fix that? They should write OIL on the board. And I just go, oil. They go, all right, we're going to take care of that, all right? There's a pretty good chance you're going to be working with a lot of that. Silver War, that's how I say it. Instead of civil, I go Silver War. Look, that might be on me, all right? I'm not. I tell you, I don't even know anything about the Silver War. Marriage fights are great because they're all very dumb. I would say 90% of them are dumb. 10% the cops show up. But we got in a fight once over chocolate milk. We didn't talk for 24 hours. What happened is I brought chocolate milk home, and she was like, why did you bring it home? And I was like, you're supposed to drink it after you work out. And she was like, that's not true. And I was like, well, there's a commercial on TV that probably looked into it more than you did. So I decided to listen to them. And she said, that's just the milk people pushing chocolate milk. And I was like, you don't even know what that statement means. You don't know if there's milk people. And I think chocolate milk's doing fine. I don't think they're sitting on barrels of it. And they're like, we got to make up a lie. We got to get rid of this chocolate milk. She went to college, all right, and I did not. But she did not study chocolate milk. When is it good and not good for you? To be fair to her, though, I do not work out. So, but I was probably going to start, and I needed to get all this stuff there. Do you ever get in those fights, like you'll be at home, like by you and your spouse, and you guys are not talking to each other, and you're in the house together, no kids, the house is quiet, and you just stay on opposite ends, and then you pass each other in the hallway. That's like the funniest part of it, because you don't live in a mansion, you have one hallway, and you just didn't time it out right, and you just have to walk by each other like strangers. You're like, oh, excuse me, sorry, yeah, no, go ahead. She'll be watching TV. I'm like, ma'am, are you watching this? I couldn't tell. I was going to change it if you weren't watching it. We're just not good. Guys are not good at marriage, all right? It's not our fault. We weren't prepared for it like women are. Your whole life is built just preparation for marriage. Look at every toy you played with. When you're a baby, they give you a baby doll. So they give you a baby when you're a baby. You don't even know you're alive yet, and they're like, look, I would probably start figuring this out. Like, this is where it's going. Then they give you Barbie and Ken. They live in a little house together, and that is where you learn how to make drama. Then you would play house. Like, you would, like, fake vacuum. Just fake vacuum with your friends. And that was awesome. And it's weird, because like when I see my wife vacuum now, I'm like, she is living her childhood dream. She's made it. As a guy, we don't have any of that. What do we play Fort? You got to keep everybody out of where you are, especially girls. The only toys we had were Transformers and Ninja Turtles. Those are not even real things. None of them had wives. They weren't married. I never played with my Ninja Turtles, and I had them going to fight Shredder. And then Michelangelo was like, hey, can y'all give me 2 seconds? My wife just showed up, and she looks furious about something. What do you want from me? And she's like, what are y'all doing? What's that April skank doing here? You're like, listen, she's a reporter. I got in trouble with my wife because, like, on her last birthday, I got her an oven. All right, pretty nice oven. Take it easy. And the reason I bought an oven, because, like, I know, like the vacuum, her other favorite toy as a kid was the Easy Bake Oven. So to go with her big girl vacuum, I got her a, like, grown-up adult oven. Like, there was heart behind it. Like, that's not, that's not impressive. If she came home and bought me a truck and it turned into a live robot, I would lose my mind. Freak out. One of the best fights we got in, the fight wasn't good, just ridiculous fight, was over the saying one fell swoop. Just over this saying. And if you're a newlywed, you're like, well, that doesn't make sense. You're right, it doesn't. This is a double-digit married fight. This is when you've already done all the dish fighting or the putting your clothes away fighting. This is when they're trying to mentally break you. They got you almost how they want you, and this is the one that sends it over the edge. So my wife, she wanted to go visit her parents one weekend, and her parents are divorced, and which has been hardest on me, to be honest. That's something people don't talk about, When you marry into the divorce, they divorced because of her, not me, so why do I have to go to 50 different houses? So she wanted to go visit her parents, and she said, I want to do it in one fell swoop. Now, I've never heard my wife say the phrase one fell swoop. We've been together 20 years. She's never said it. And it felt like someone that day told her, hey, you should start using one fell swoop more. And she goes, I'm about to call my husband. And goes, perfect. Use it 40 to 50 times on him. So she calls me, and she goes, I want to go visit my parents, and I want to do it in one fell swoop. And I go, all right, let's do it in one fell swoop. She goes, I want to do it in one fell swoop. I go, let's do it in one fell swoop. Let's swoop it up. I'm down. And she kept saying it, one fell swoop, over and over again. And then when she went to describe this one fell swoop trip, she goes, we'll go to my mom's, come home, then go to my dad's. And so I just waited, and she didn't say anything, and I just go, that's not what one fell swoop means. And instead of possibly just being wrong, she goes, I know what one fell swoop means. I go, yeah, it doesn't sound like you do, all right? And we have the same last name. I can't have you out there in a one fell swoop conversation. What do you think 2 birds, 1 stone mean? Let's just go through them all. I don't know if you know any of these. She hangs up on me. So I get home, and when you walk home and you've been in a fight, and you're like, all right, how long is this fight? Is it happening still? Is it over? I don't know. I got to fill it out, She never uses words like sorry. I'd love to hear that. That's a word she definitely doesn't know what it means. And I say it all the time. I walk around the house with just a sack of sorries, just handing them out all day. I try to give her some, like, would you like to carry some of these? She's like, I don't have pockets, so I'm good. We didn't talk that whole night. I mean, we're just sitting there, our daughters, like, we're watching TV, eating, and I'm like, hey, you know your mom's crazy, right? And then she's like, did you do your homework, or you don't want to be dumb like your dad? And then your daughter's just like, are y'all lunatics? So I'm laying on the couch, and my wife just came over, and she kisses me goodnight, and then she went to bed. And that was it, you know? That was like, I felt like it was her sorry, I guess. But she didn't say it. And so I was like laid there, and I'm just thinking about it. And you think about it a lot, because you're like, all right. Because you learn, the longer you get married, sometimes it's like, just let stuff go. You know, who cares? And the next morning I get up, and I kind of still wanted to talk about it, because we didn't talk all night, you know? So I went into her, I was like, look, I got to tell you, I mean, it's just not what it means, you know? And that got it going real good. But I felt so good about this argument, you know? I thought about it all night. I was like, you got this one in the bag, man. You should bring it back up. I'm not trying to date her anymore. I'd like to win a fight. We're going to die together. I almost woke her up in her sleep. That's how much I was so excited. I almost just started shaking her going, it's not what it means. Our marriage almost ended in one fell swoop. So she runs everything because she knows everything. Like, I don't know any stuff. Like, I don't know how much money we have. Like, could not even ballpark it. I don't even know where it's at. And I don't even know how to get it if I had to get it. What bank we go to? I don't know. Like, you know, I can't get robbed because, like, if some guy's like, let's go to the ATM, you know, it's like, well, I guess we gotta wait for my wife to get here. She can't leave me because I wouldn't know how to get stuff, you know? Like, she can't even die. If she starts dying, I'll die so much faster than her because I don't know what to do. Like, I don't have to call her mom and be like, hey, did she ever bring up bank stuff to you at all? Did you ever talk about that? Or what did she do for a living? Do you know? What was her deal? Me and my wife fight a lot, like normal, you know, like normal fighting. It's easy to fight when you're married, I think. Marriage and prison are the two easiest places to start to fight. Everybody's really tense and on edge. You know, no one remembers why they got there. My wife will get mad, like, when I hang out with my buddies. She's always like, oh, you always have so much fun with your friends. You always laugh with them a lot. You know, you never laugh that much with me. It's like, yeah, I hang out with professional comedians. It's a pretty good time, you know? Like, they make jokes, new jokes every day. She doesn't make jokes ever. She makes a lot of lists. She does do lists, though. Last year, my dad he's doing a show. He does these magic shows in prisons. And during the show, one of the inmates just stands up and says, I know your son, which is probably not the best place as a father to hear that. Just like, I know your boy. He keeps his mouth shut. He's good people. So my dad, he goes, hey, he's like, all right. He goes, how do you know my son? And he was one of the guys that carried me up those stairs that day. I was 12 years old, and we've never known who carried me up those stairs. And then his brother saw me on the Tonight Show and was like, that's that kid that we carried up those stairs that day. So it's pretty crazy. And so since then, I've been actually bringing him out to shows, and I'm going to bring him out tonight. And no, he's not here. He's in prison. But yeah. Sorry. Yeah. Trust me. Look, he would love to be here. Trust me. I mean, yeah, he'd kill to be here, to be honest. But I like to drink iced coffee with milk. And I told a story. I went into a Starbucks inside a Target. I ordered iced coffee with milk, and the guy gave me milk with ice in it. I did not want milk with ice. I wanted iced coffee with milk, and he heard milk with ice. I have learned that a lot of people do drink milk with ice. People send me pictures all the time of adults just drinking milk with ice, and they stay in the Starbucks. They don't even like run to their car like, this is so embarrassing, I gotta stop doing it. Like, they do it openly. My wife puts ice in our daughter's milk, and I was like, oh, you do that because of my joke? And she's not a big fan of my comedy, so she was like, I haven't seen it. I was like, we have Netflix, you know? And she's like, I don't think we do. I was like, I know we do. And she was like, I'm just so busy right now. I went to career day for my daughter's school, and I get what I do is very fun. But I was nervous because I'm there with real people, and they're smart. So I was hoping to sit at a table alone. They put me at a table with a surgeon, which I think they did it on purpose. Almost to show the kids, Here's the difference between reading. So the kids like come up, you know, and they're like, what subjects do you use for comedy? And I don't even know what the subjects they're taking. I was like, I do English. I do mostly English on stage. They asked him, how long do you go to school to be a surgeon? You know, and he's like 54 years or whatever. It's like and they asked me, they're like, how long to be a comedian? I was like, you're good now. So I just want to buy stuff and her not know I bought it. And that's so hard. I think if I knew the name of my bank, I could do it. But I gotta go through her to get that information. I poke around, I'm like, if I had a bank, what bank do you think I would go to? I also once a week walk into a bank and go, hello, is my money in this bank? I was in San Francisco, and I bet there's a bunch of fun coffee places, and I live in my dumb world that I just want this one little drink. So I go into a Starbucks, and I get to the front, and I was like, I'll take an iced coffee with cream. She goes, with cream? I go with cream. And then she goes, iced coffee with cream? I go, iced coffee with cream. She goes, with cream? I go with cream. And she said it one more time. She said, so iced coffee with cream? And at that point, I should have said, what's going on right now? Where are you at in your head? Because I feel like we're in two different places. But I was nervous, and there was people behind me, and I was like, cream or no cream? Honestly, I'll give you $20 if you let me leave right now. I cannot, this is the most I can talk about this. I don't even know what's happening anymore. So I paid, I go stand in line, you know, where you gotta wait for your drink. There's like 5 of us waiting for our drinks. So she puts the iced coffee up there first, no cream, and I was like, whatever. I'll just do it myself, you know? Like, I don't like doing it myself, but I was like, all right, I'll just do it. So before I could get it, she's walked back with a can of whipped cream, and she's shaking it. And I'm just looking at it, like, thinking that's someone else's. I'm like, someone's getting whipped cream. That's fun. One of you guys are getting whipped cream? And I look down, and she starts spraying the whipped cream on top of my iced coffee. She just yells out, iced coffee, whipped cream, yells it out. The other 4 people, they turn their back, like they don't want you to accidentally think that's what they ordered. And I'm just left alone, like, that's what you thought I said over there? You don't think I would have said iced coffee with whipped cream? You think I'm just some nut job? It's like, I've had too many problems in this Starbucks, so I'm only going to use the words that I want and no other words. Iced coffee, whipped cream cup. And they didn't have a top for it, so whipped cream, it doesn't sink and become less embarrassing. It moves. It's like a buoy in an ocean that everybody sees. And I'm just walking through the crowd like, this is my favorite drink. I don't know if you guys drink this at all. Does anybody? Nobody does this? I'm surprised. And I walked outside and threw it away and tried again at a different Starbucks.